Uniphore, as an organization, is a deep tech early leader in conversational AI globally. And our focus over the last couple of years have been to build our own conversational service automation platform, which is spread across 100 plus different languages and being deployed with large enterprise customers. Genesis of the company sort of came into being in the mid 2000s when Umesh, my other co-founder, and we landed ourselves at IIT Madras and did a deep study about the consumption of information in deeper pockets of India. And we traveled to length and breadth of multiple states, looked at how the information is consumed. And that's where the idea of enabling a product which could understand what a person is speaking and what's the overall inference of that input is all about, which can be then used to provide them information back. And we thought that if people can speak to a system, to a product, which can understand what they're saying and then revert back, that can be very useful. And that's how Uniphore was born. And then over the years, with the help of IIT Madras Rural Incubation Cell, we incubated the company and really started getting into deeper pockets of technology. And then with a combination of speech technologies like speech recognition and voice biometrics across 100 plus different languages, AI with a lot of machine learning incorporated into the platform, and now with enablement of RPA and video AI, we have come a long way since our mid-2000s journey when it started to now in bringing in one of the most cutting edge and leading conversational service automation platform globally. As we see, Uniphore's conversational service automation platform today helps contact centers to really deploy an AI-based solution which can really work on their front office. Now, over the years, if you've seen contact centers, a lot of investments have gone into automating the back-end process. Contact centers have been in existence for about 30, 35 years, right? Or probably a little more, where we are bringing in our conversational service automation platform to really focus on the front office and enabling large enterprises to not only bring in productivity gains through our products, but also really elevating the customer experience. So we have multiple products in this space, which is running on top of the platform, starting from You Self-Serve, which is automating the entire conversation like a virtual bot is talking to an individual. But we also know that when in need and when we are in trouble and when we make a call to a call center, we would like to talk to a human being and not every time to a virtual agent. So for any complex conversation, we have the ability to then transfer the call from You Self-Serve, which is a virtual agent, to a live agent. And there we continue to listen to the call through our platform. And then we have product like You Assist, which is a real-time assistant to the agents and guide them during the conversation on their screens by looking at possible cross-sell, upsell opportunities, improvement in collection scenarios, compliance issues, sentiment analysis, etc., and drive the conversation and help the agents drive the conversation in a more fruitful and effective way. And within that, because we're listening to the conversation pile, it really enables us to also summarize the call automatically through the product, which at this era usually is done by the agents manually, and there comes the challenges as well. Because it is done now through the product, there's a lot of uniformity. Plus, what would have been done in 2 minutes, we can now do it in 5 seconds. For our agents, we then, post-call completion, also deploy our You Analyze product to do 100% quality automation for each and every call and each and every agent. The system generates scores and highlights how the call went and where are the improvement areas. And also look at the customer voice as well and figure out what are the business opportunities to improve. So with all that, the product capabilities, our core focus, core verticals that we're focusing on are in the areas of banking and financial services industries, insurance being in the same domain, telecom operators, large BPM and BPO players, hospitality, and airlines would be some of the industries. But I mean, from our perspective, any contact center which really is looking to transform their business and understand their customer conversation in a much better way has an applicability of our products. Contact centers has always been looked as if it is a one single building, physical space. Everyone comes in, picks up the calls, finishes the shifts, goes back home. But all of a sudden, this transformed into a home-based activity which could be executed remotely. Now, as consumers, we were stifled to not go to the branches, to not go to the service providers, not go to the banks. The only option for us to resolve our issues, our queries, our complaints was to make a phone call. So the calls overnight increased, while the number of agents, because they started working from home, not everyone had connectivity, not everyone had systems and secure network. The number of agents effectively came down to a certain extent. Overall, the gap was roughly about 30% between the demand and the supply. And that effectively brought in an issue of automating some of these practices in a quick time frame. And Uniphore potentially has seen in the last 4 quarters really worked with our large enterprise customers to transform how they operate using our products, be it the largest of BPOs or direct customers that we have today. We have signed in the last 12 odd months about 5 large multi-year, multi-dollar engagements with the likes of NTT Data, Tech Mahindra, Sitel, FirstSource, WNS. These are some of the largest of opportunities that we've signed in the last 12 months. And they are now using our capability to really transform not only their businesses, but the enterprise that they serve. Before the pandemic, we did have a lot of opportunity working with some of the travel companies, airlines, and this particular sector had faced a lot of challenges, right? And overnight, things shifted. And in my opinion, it will take about 6 to 9 months more before it comes back to complete speed. At least in the US market, we are seeing people start traveling again, and hopefully in other parts of the world that would start again. But that is one vertical that faced a lot of headwind, but it was really pulled through by the banks and telecom operators. What really also opened up as a segment for us is the new age edtech companies, companies which are really focused on bringing in digital applications for consumers, edtech being one of them. E-commerce really boomed during this phase where everyone was ordering stuff rather than going out and getting it done. Or you take food delivery companies, etc. So I think new businesses came up. Some of the older ones which faced headwinds hopefully will come back soon, back into action. But overall, with all that mix and our presence across 13 plus countries has really helped us sail through during this period and grow business at about 3x growth compared to last year. And will be potentially a historic year for us where we cross $100 million ARR mark this year globally and continue to grow from there. Payal, the outlook from our end with the raise of capital is to deploy it in our technology and product group to really expand further. And while we have had AI automation and machine learning in place, right? Even before the round was raised, we had an opportunity to acquire NTT Data's RPA capability, and then further topped it up with our acquisition of Emotion Research Lab, which added the video AI capability into the platform. So that's on the technology front. The deployment of capital will further also go into our expansion geographically. Today, we are present in 13 plus countries. And we are also looking at a holistic approach of expanding ourselves in the European markets in a big way. And then further double down our growth in additional markets like Japan, Australia, Canada, and other parts of the world that we are currently present in. Now, while all that have happened, it also gives me immense pride that we also have managed to build an excellent and very robust C-suite in the company with leaders like Stefan Berthier, who came from PwC as our CFO, Mr. Kurt Hill, who has joined us as a Chief Customer Officer coming in from Cisco, and other elite members in the executive leadership team. But beyond that, also have been sort of aligned to have industry veterans in our board like Mr. John Chambers, Ms. Andrea Ayers, and then have our investors like Rob Ruckert from Sorensen Capital, Sumant Mandal from March Capital, and a recent addition to the board was Mr. Bert Portbear, who's the CFO of CrowdStrike, one of the fastest growing SaaS companies is listed in the US. And with that, it brings in a lot of understanding on how to grow the organization rapidly and how to really scale up the growth from where we are currently. Now, all of them have gone through their own share of expansion, organic and inorganic, and a lot of learning certainly is out there available to us as well. And we will use that to figure out opportunities if there are like-minded opportunities, if there are opportunities for us to scale up our platform in an organic or inorganic way, and for us to do any further M&As. We'll certainly be open to some of those scenarios, given that we've already done a couple of them in the past. We are not averse to executing some more in future. And obviously that would also lead us to raise more funds, more capital. Our core focus would remain in getting first the technology piece more robust, and if there is a way for us to really align with some of the opportunities in the market of M&A to really to have an impact on our product set, then we'll definitely look after those opportunities. Having said that, there would be significant consolidation in the market, as I believe, going forward, which will open up opportunities for us to go ahead and look for acquire options from people perspective. At the same time, as we expand into new geographies, be it other parts of Asia, European markets, or in other parts of the world, if there are options for us to really look into some of the like-minded and similar companies, which already has executed significant growth in their geographies, then we can look at options on those lines as well.